News Network, welcome back. Bringing you the news, bringing you the truth about Seth Rich. Seth Rich, DNC staffer, computer expert who was gunned down out the front of his house last year on July 10th, shot twice in the back, had other defensive wounds as well as damage to his wristwatch, which led local police to conclude that this was a botched robbery gone wrong, as nothing was actually taken. He still had his credit cards, his wallet, phone, watch, everything. Shot twice in the back out the front of his house whilst on the phone to his girlfriend. The ruling of botched robbery was very, very quick. There didn't seem to be much of an extensive investigation into the homicide and the actual cause of it, whether it was politically motivated. There's certain rumours circulating the internet, many conspiracy theories that Seth Rich was in fact the infamous leaker in the DNC scandal, which plagued the Clinton campaign just prior to the US election, November, with the very infamous leaks to WikiLeaks of the 40-odd thousand emails in the Hillary Clinton archive. Seth Rich is apparently the leaker, according to many internet sleuths. There's certainly many interesting facts surrounding this case, such as, like I mentioned before, the claim that it was a botched robbery did happen unusually quickly, especially for a high-profile case such as this. It didn't really seem to be treated with much care and respect. These claims by the alleged ER doctor, who claims that they were told not to service the VIP who came in the night before, and that Seth Rich was alive and doing quite well hours after the official narrative says that he was dead from his wounds following the shooting. We've got the fact that he was allegedly a very devout Bernie supporter, and that he had other online blogs, such as a Reddit blog under the name of Me Grimlock 4, and he also had a number of Twitter accounts, 3 in fact, that we know of, according to certain Reddit internet sleuths. A Twitter handle @Panda for Progress, one that's @Panda for Bernie, @Pandas for Bernie, sorry, and remove DNC_chair. So it seems that he was a very devout Bernie supporter, which would give him the motive required to leak the information to WikiLeaks, given that Hillary is accused of stealing the nomination for DNC from Bernie using a number of tactics. There's also claims that the suspects who shot Seth were investigated, tracked down, and it ended in a shootout just down the road from the White House, which is another very interesting contradiction to the official narrative. Julian Assange, of course, coming out offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to a conviction in the case, finding the murderer of Seth Rich. He, of course, he quite strongly inferred that Seth was indeed the source. Of course, he didn't say that because WikiLeaks neither confirms nor denies their sources. But he did, he nodded, and he made it quite clear, I believe, by offering $20,000 as a reward for any, information. And he certainly suggested that it was politically motivated and that it had nothing to do with a robbery gone wrong at all. There's also the fact that the former DNC director of data science, Andrew, after the death of Seth Rich, tweeted him @Panda for Progress. A group of pandas is called an embarrassment. #PandaFacts. Like I said, that was tweeted to @PandaForProgress, which has been verified as being one of Seth Rich's accounts by one of the posts which was screenshotted prior to being removed, in which he accidentally leaked his personal email address as a post, confirming that it is Seth Rich. So it's interesting. There's also an email which was found on wikileaks.com, wikileaks.org, sorry. They published an email by John Podesta, which says, and I quote, "I'm definitely for making an example of a suspected leaker, whether or not we have any real basis for it." Not only was this amongst all of the emails in the archive, in the WikiLeaks archive, it was also there was also attention drawn to it by WikiLeaks in a post on their official Facebook account, in which they pointed this out following the death of Seth Rich, in a way, in an attempt to try to connect it, I believe, to the situation. So, like I said, Julian has never confirmed nor denied. There's certainly strong allegations, a strong reason to suggest, but WikiLeaks in no way has confirmed this. The family, following the death, the family of Seth Rich hired a private investigator, Rich Wheeler. He's a former homicide detective, which makes him a pretty good candidate, I think, to investigate a homicide. And he claims to have inside sources in the police department and also in the federal government, which isn't too far-fetched given that he used to be a homicide detective. He quite possibly has connections on the inside of law enforcement after all those years. He claims that there's the evidence that we need to solve the case is on Seth's laptop, which the DC police claim is in the hands of the FBI, and the FBI claim is in the hands of the DC police. There was, again, conflicting reports. Some reports claim that the FBI insiders were saying they'd already searched the laptop and found the 45,000 odd emails that were forwarded to WikiLeaks, thus confirming that he was in fact the source. Other conflicting reports do not confirm the existence of an FBI investigation, nor do they confirm whether or not they actually have the laptop or whether or not it has in fact been searched. What we do know is that the laptop was seized from the house by one of the law enforcement agencies soon after the death of Seth Rich, or at least soon after the shooting, after he was transported to the hospital. The private investigator, Rich Wheeler, also claims that there's been a cover-up, that the FBI and the local DC police are not being forthcoming, they're not being honest with us about what truly happened, and he says that his source within the police department confirms that they were given a stand-down order by the higher-ups, informing them not to investigate this murder of a high-up DNC official. This has been reported by Fox News. Fox News chimed in. They actually had the private investigator on their show, and you can look that up on their website or on their YouTube account possibly. He made these sensational claims about the police department and also about the investigation. Like I said, he's a homicide detective. He has since withdrawn these claims following legal threats from the family, following his alleged signing of a non-disclosure clause due to the nature of the investigation. So he has recanted it, but the contract is ongoing. There's an upcoming media release rumoured to be this Tuesday. We also have Kim.com and Guccifer also claiming that Seth Rich is in fact the leaker. Kim.com claiming that he will release information on Tuesday to the press, following meeting with his legal counsel on Monday. But he says he is the evidence in the investigation. He's quite happy to testify before Congress on the Russian probe. If in fact it turns out that Rich is in fact the leaker, I think we can wave bye-bye to the Russian hacker narrative, which I believe is what they're also worried about, why they're all scrambling right now to try to cover it up and label this as fake news. But I think we'll know in the coming days and weeks exactly what is and isn't fake news. And if Kim.com does in fact come out and give us the evidence and does in fact testify before Congress under oath that and provide evidence that Seth Rich is in fact the WikiLeaks leaker, Bernie supporter, and also leaker who was murdered for political reasons, I think we can then conclude without a doubt that the mainstream media that perpetuated this lie about it being a robbery all this time and claimed that there was no evidence to suggest that it was anything else are in fact the personification of fake news. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and keep up the fight, and God bless.